All right, question number 8. We're going over the intermediate value theorem, and we want to know, does the intermediate value theorem guarantee the following equation has a real solution between -7/2 and -5/2? So all we need to do, and I'm going to do this with technology, you can do it by hand just by plugging in these numbers for x and getting your value. You could also do it with synthetic division. But just to kind of show you what it's doing, we're going to graph this equation, and what we're looking for is if the value of one of these numbers is positive and the other one is negative, that means that at some point between these two numbers it has to cross the line of y equals 0. So if that's the case, then the intermediate value does guarantee a real solution between these two. If both numbers are the same sign, then it's inconclusive. We may not know. Okay, so we're going to graph this 2x raised to the 4th plus 10x raised to the 3rd, and then we have plus 146x squared minus 426x, and then minus 90. So again, we're going to do it with technology. One reason is because the numbers are really big and it takes some time to compute those. So this just kind of speeds it up. So we're going to graph it. Okay, we're not going to see much, but hopefully we see a line, very close, hard to tell. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the second button and we're going to calculate. So this CALC, hard to see, but second, hit the trace button and we'll calculate. And we want to just do value. So enter a value. And so they want to know what is the x value. So we're going to put in the first one. -7 divided by 2. And it's going to give me a y value. So notice the y value is positive 3,000. Okay. So let me pull up the sheet of paper. Make it just smaller. Okay, so I'm just going to write that number down. So I know it's positive 3,000. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'm going to say -7/2 gave me a y value of approximately 3,000. Okay, so this is just an estimate. I just need to know the sign. It's positive, okay, and that's what I'm concerned with. Looks a little blurry. Let me see if I can focus this a little better. And that looks good. Okay. So we got one value. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other one. So once you do value, you can just type in the next one. So I'm going to type in -5 divided by 2. And then this time I get a y value of positive 1,800. Okay, so what we're seeing is that between these two numbers, okay, the sign has not changed as far as the y value. So one of them was around 3,000 positive, one of them was around 1,800. Okay, so there is no sign change, so that doesn't guarantee that we actually cross the x-axis. So we're going to say, based on this theorem, it does not. We're going to say no, because we can't tell with these two terms. All right, number 9 is the same. We're going to do that here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to graph this. Now, this equation is out of order, and it's not set equal to 0. So we're going to need to move these terms over so that everything's on the same side, and we have 0 on one side. So let's move that out of the way. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to write down the 174x plus 6x to the 4th minus 102x cubed, and then we're going to add the 114x squared, so plus 114x squared, and then we're going to add the 30. Okay, so this is the function that we're dealing with. Now, it's always better to put these in order. Using a calculator, it doesn't matter, but just getting used to doing that because you want your polynomial in order from largest exponent to smallest or highest degree to smallest. So I'm going to put the 6x to the 4th out front. and then minus 102x to the third. So I've used those two so I don't get confused. And then plus 114 x squared, and then plus 174 x, and then plus 30. And this is all equal to 0. So this is my polynomial in order. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the previous problem. Go to y equal. I'm going to clear out what we have. And I am going to graph this function. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I'm going to graph this function. 6x to the 4th minus 102x cubed, and then plus 114 x squared plus 174 x, and then plus 30. So I'm going to graph it. Again, we might not see much. Okay, so we can see some lines. We do know it crosses on the x-axis. Now we're going to use these values that were given, 7/2 and 9/2. So we're going to do second, and then this trace button to calculate, and then option number 1, I'm going to hit enter on that to get a value. So first I'm going to do 7 divided by 2, and I get a negative 1400. So we don't need the exact value. I'm just going to write that down. So for 7 over 2, I get a negative about 1400. The only thing I'm concerned with is the sign. Okay, and then I want to try 9 over 2. So now I'm going to do 9 divided by 2. I'm going to get this y value. This one is also still negative. Okay, so 9 over 2, that value is negative 3,700. And the number is not really all that important. The sign on the number is, however. And in this case, both of them are negative, so that means that they could both be below the x-axis and not necessarily crossing. So intermediate value theorem does not guarantee a 0 on this one either. So we're going to say no.